Welcome to Spotlight TV. We have a very sparkling and a brilliant guest today. We have Christina Termine, and she is the owner of Diamonds on the Key. She is a Founder Circle member at Miami Women Who Rock and a past honoree, a Rockstar Award honoree, has an amazing story, and we're going to sparkle and shine. Welcome, Christina, to Spotlight.
Thank you, Emily, for having me.
So, tell me about your story. You've been in this 40 years, and that's a long time to be in this business. And you have so much experience. You're the jeweler to the stars. So tell me about Diamonds on the Key and how you got started.
It surprisingly started as my very first after-school job. That when I was 16 years old, me and two girlfriends wanted to have jobs desperately. We wanted to work. And I had had a little bit of experience because I used to play in my mother's jewelry box, and she was a costume jewelry buyer at the time for Jordan Marsh department stores, which is now Macy's. And the jewelry I used to play with was just beautiful. It was made back then as finely as fine jewelry is today. And my sister and I would always play in my mother's jewelry box. And she encouraged me when I said I wanted to go get a job to go apply at our local neighborhood jewelry store. And that was my very first job.
Wow. I've never heard that story.
and surprisingly, 40 years later, it's morphed into an entire lifelong career.
How did you get the name Diamonds on the Key?
I'm originally born and raised in Boston, and when I decided to relocate here to the Miami area, I relocated to Key Biscayne, Florida, which is part of Miami. It's a small island. And I would hear local people say, well, I live on the beach for Miami Beach. I live in the Gables for Coral Gables. I live in the Grove for Coconut Grove. I live on the Key for Key Biscayne. So I named my company Diamonds on the Key.
Tell us the story of Diamonds on the Key. So how long have you been around, and how are you different than other jewelers?
Diamonds on the Key has been in business now for 15 years in Key Biscayne, Florida. And when I got there, there was really no jewelers. And there was no jewelers there doing diamonds, first of all, selling engagement rings, offering high-end diamond jewelry, offering any kind of services even for repairs. And the office that I maintain there in Key Biscayne, which is my headquarters, it became a destination for this, that once I started letting people know I was there and set up, my business took off right away because it was a need to be filled.
That's wonderful. And you have such a passion for it and such a knowledge. So share some of that with us.
I feel like I've worked in just about every facet of fine jewelry. Again, beginning when I was 16 years old, I really absorbed everything that older people around me would teach and instill on me. And it was really that hands-on training that's at the very core. So I started out working with pearls, for example, and knew just about everything in pearls, even that I went to Japan to the pearl farms. Then I switched over to gold, and during my career, I used to travel to Italy 3 times a year to the factories there, buying gold chains, seeing how chains are actually made. Because I was so involved with that, I served on the World Gold Council, which was really heavily promoting gold. This is back in the mid-90s. And then also worked a lot in advertising and advertising campaigns with jewelry designers all over the United States to promote fine jewelry. And everything from being behind the sales counter, learning how jewelry is actually made, looking at the design process, looking at the marketing aspect, and me personally standing behind the counter selling also, just from a very young age. It really just rounded the whole full circle to everything.
And diamonds are a girl's best friends.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We have some of your must-have pieces.
Yes.
Now, this is super exciting because I think every day is gift day.
Every day
right?
should be gift day.
That's what
Absolutely.
I think.
Yeah, and there's no problem gifting yourself a beautiful piece of jewelry. I tell women that all the time. You know, self-purchasing is a big part of my business, and I always encourage women to treat themselves. We so easily go out and buy a new pair of shoes, let's say, and you can buy a new piece of jewelry and new earrings or pendant, and just makes you feel great.
I love it. So let's see some of the pieces that are the must-haves.
Well, so I really kind of selected these that they are for a must-have, I think, in every woman's wardrobe. And it's really the core basics that don't go in and out of style and that will always be in style. Your go-to pieces that you can put them on with anything. You can put them on with a white blouse and jeans. You can put it on with a black dress, go out for dinner. I think maybe one of the most important things is just to have like a great pair of gold hoop earrings. That gold hoops, you put them on with everything, to the beach, to the gym, to, you know, casual. Like I said, gold hoops would go with absolutely everything. Also, to, you know, a gold cuff bracelet. It's bold, it's substantial. You put it on and it just catches the light and looks great. So gold to me is like a big foundation of every woman's wardrobe. If you have a gorgeous link chain, something long, like I often wear long link chains, you can wear them long, you can double them up. Something that is funny that's come in and out of style but is always a core basic is a diamond Riviera necklace. That when you have a diamond Riviera necklace, it just lends itself to be worn short and tight or layered with all these gold chains. And back when I started, we're talking again 40 years ago, that type of jewelry used to just be saved for special occasions. It would come out of your drawer or safety deposit box like once a year if you were going to a fancy wedding maybe, or New Year's Eve. And now it's the hottest trend to wear not one but multiples of them, and maybe gold necklaces layered with it, maybe put on a charm. And I'm happy about is I see young girls, maybe they got something from their mother and now they're adding on to this, and it's become a massive, massive trend.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That whole layered look. I love what you have on.
Thank you. I love what you have on. That looks pretty too. But I also encourage people that there's no rules to jewelry. You need to have fun, and you can layer it. Like my bracelets, I wear these every day, and I get a lot of compliments. And people will ask, like, what colors are those? And I said, well, they're every color. They're rose gold, white gold, yellow gold, and you can mix all of these together. There's no set rules that everything has to be one color. You can mix and combine and wear everything together.
I love it. Let's talk about these earrings because I'm eyeing those.
So those earrings are beautiful. They're white mother of pearl, and I always think you should have a statement earring, something, you know, big, bold, that lights up your face. And I chose the white mother of pearl with diamond because it's very neutral, because it's white. It will go with everything. You can put it on, and it's not, you know, springtime. It's not wintertime. It's year round. So I think to have a beautiful statement pair of earrings, you know, you put them on and you're good to go. And same thing with like a statement ring. When you have some sort of, you know, bold cocktail ring, you could wear it on your index finger. You could wear it as a pinky ring, but a bold kind of statement cocktail ring will take you everywhere also.
These are all gorgeous. Are these also stacked, or like, what's the rule now with rings?
Well, again, there is no rule, and I see young ladies wearing lots of skinny little rings, and you know, we have thin bands also, and we have just about everything that you want. But it's much different from going to a traditional retail brick and mortar type store, where they typically have a lot of overhead. You're paying very high rent, you're paying real estate, you're paying a huge staff, you're stockpiling those showcases, and there's an awful lot of overhead. I work on a basis where I have very, very low overhead, and my business is by appointment only. So you come to my office. I personally wait on you. It's one-on-one, and we get you exactly what you want. And this formula has served me really well for the past 15 years of my business. But more importantly, I pass that savings on to the customer. So the customer for me is number one, and they get an incredible price. They get a beautiful piece of fine jewelry, and they get top quality service.
You are, and that's that. You're meticulous about your business. I just know how you are
to a fault. So.
I love it. I know how you are. What are some of the things when someone comes in and is looking for that perfect gift, and whether it's an anniversary, birthday, any of those things? What are some of the questions that you ask them to kind of get to the process?
If somebody's buying the gift for someone else, I'll always ask a little bit about that person. You know, what's their style? You know, what's their height? What do they like to do? What, you know, if they play any kind of sports. So I'm making sure to pick a piece of jewelry that really goes with their lifestyle. It's funny because I'll get a lot of men come in and say to me, "Oh, my wife likes petite, dainty things," and I'll personally know the wife, and I'll say, "No, she doesn't. She doesn't like that. She wants something big and bold." And so I'm lucky that my customers will listen to me, even if it's the opposite of what maybe they came in to originally pick out.
I love that. And when it comes to birthstone gems, is that something that I love your newsletter and your social media?
Thank you.
And when you always post, you have really interesting, it doesn't matter what holiday it is, but.
My staff and I put so much work into that, and we do send out a monthly newsletter. And first we promote the birthstone of that month. So it's every single birthstone by month and the history of that birthstone, and then we offer jewelry of that gemstone. And then we'll go into, you know, usually highlighting a particular client if they had a celebratory moment that month. And then we also feature what we like to call makeovers. And throughout that calendar month, we'll inevitably do a lot of style makeovers that somebody will bring a piece of jewelry to me that they don't like, it's dated, it doesn't suit them any longer, they may have inherited it, and in some way they feel a little badly if they did inherit it. What do I do with this now? Because I don't really like it. And I ask them, well, what would they like? What would they use? And through that whole discussion process, we come to find out, oh, well, it was a bracelet, and I don't wear bracelets, but I would wear a pendant. And if there's significant gemstones, we take the bracelet apart, we recycle the gold, we make it a design, and now that piece they inherited, which was a bracelet, has become a brand new pendant that they just love. And this is the makeover process, and we feature those makeovers in our monthly newsletter.
That's wonderful.
And on our website.
We're going to show you an example of one of those, because I think it's absolutely fascinating. And I've actually sent some people over to you.
Thank you.
We have had women that have like, I got this from my mother, and now so many years later, I don't use it. It just sits there. What can I do? So here's a great before and after. Walk us through this one, because this is gorgeous.
Thank you. So this was a very good friend and client of mine, and at the top of the screen, it says before, and these are two loose, beautiful, fine quality emeralds that she had picked up, you know, along the way in her worldwide travels, and they just sat in these little boxes in a drawer for years. She bought them on a whim, and then she was like, well, what do I do with them now? They're loose in a box. And I said, well, they obviously match, so it's a set of two, and they can be made into earrings. What kind of earrings would you like? Do you want something formal? Do you want something fun? Do you want something every day? And she said, I love the color of the green emerald. I'd really like something bright and colorful, even adding more color to it. And she says, I want something fun. So we decided to add pink sapphires to offset the green. And in the center, we made a CAD rendering, which is done in the computer to show the client exactly what the earrings will be like before we go to the casting process. And she just loved it. Now, if she didn't like the pink, we could have changed it to blue. We could have changed it to yellow, but she loved the pink. So then we sorted loose pink sapphires to be set around the perimeter of the emerald. And the after shows the real earring that we also cast in rose gold to blend with the color of the pink sapphires. And the client was just thrilled. So these things that sat in her drawer for years now are on her ears finally.
That is so awesome. And the fact that you were able to generate a computer-generated look of what, so they have an idea and they're not all of a sudden like, oh my goodness, no, so you got to show it to them.
If the design will go that way, that we need a computerized CAD design because we're designing something from scratch and casting it in your choice of gold or platinum, we always try to use a CAD design so that the client can really see it. But the discussion starts before the CAD design, and it's all of those components being able to explain it to the customer so they really feel secure moving forward. And then, of course, we always quote them a price so they know exactly what it's going to cost them.
Well, this is beautiful. I just love those earrings. And you know how I'm so crazy about pink. Yes. Which, of course, leads me to
50
the very
Shades of
first
Pink.
time that you supported our charity. You were a Rockstar Award honoree, but you also were one of our partners and sponsors. Gertie's Award, Housewives, you sponsored that. So you have such a charitable way of working with organizations and the things that we've given away. I mean, the first raffle prize were a beautiful pair of earrings. So talk about some of the charitable endeavors.
Well, first of all, I really enjoy being part of Miami Women Who Rock. And from the very beginning, having been honored at one of your very first events meant an awful lot to me. And those first introductions I made to the women back then at that first luncheon, now we've kept in touch. Your organization has been, growing and growing, and it's so wonderful to see these women and the camaraderie amongst all of us, and women supporting women and helping women, number one. So that's been very, very important.
Thank you.
I always believe in giving back in some small way. Now, I might not be able to open up a checkbook like some people, but I can certainly donate a piece of jewelry, which might generate raffle ticket sales. I try to support as many events as I possibly can and go to. I love, getting involved, and I'm a big believer in one hand washes the other, and all of that support. And I do believe in giving back. Vizcaya might be one of my most favorite things here in Miami because it reminds me of another museum back in Boston, as I was a child, that my mother would take me to, and that connection between Boston and Miami, that was one of the very first charities that I started attending and supporting.
I love it. I love it. And it's wonderful having you part of the Founders Circle.
Thank you.
It's such a great group of women that are
and all the events you do are wonderful too. Even if it's like a small get together, to me that's what I like the most, being able to, a small group of us sit around, talk about what we do, learn more about the other person. Sometimes that's hard to do at a big event, and so those smaller type circles are really meaningful.
I love it, and that's probably our secret sauce, is that powerhouse connection that forms within those intimate, we call them mix and mingles, but and you had your first one this
just one of the first ones. So I think that was just a few weeks ago. And from that small group of women, a woman reached out to me that she had her mother's ring that she hadn't worn for a very, very long time. And all it needed was a little TLC. It just needed some polishing and cleaning, and didn't even need to be sized. And she asked if I could do it. She actually, I think, gave it to me that night. And a week later, it's shiny and new, and she was just thrilled.
And that's the thing, that personal service, that they know when they call, they're going to get you. Mm-hmm. They're not. It's that TLC, that way that you have, because I mean, even just watching that makeover. I mean, I'm loving those earrings, and I love pink and green. I didn't realize how much I love it, but that creativity and that knowledge of being able to say, well, wait a minute, that only comes with experience.
And I think that experience, I'm fortunate enough that for the most part, people will take my advice and my recommendation because they know how long I've been doing this, but I also really listen to the client. That to me, the client and their needs and wants are first and foremost. So whatever the client comes to me asking for, I won't try to push my idea on them. I listen to what it is that they want. And even if it's a little difficult, somebody one time brought me about 15 pieces of jewelry that we needed to somehow incorporate into one piece because all of these 15 had symbolism of some.
Wow.
So we weren't getting rid of necessarily of any of them, but we needed to combine them into something. And it was hard to do, but each piece was so sentimental to the client. And I had to listen to them. How are we going to incorporate this into one significant piece? And it's also the experience of listening to the customer and doing what they want, as opposed to perhaps a traditional retail jeweler that has a lot of stock in the case and they need to sell that stock and turn it over and shove something down your throat that you don't want. And mine is quite the opposite.
Well, we had the opportunity actually to get our YPP president from last year, Meg Conley.
Yes.
A gift as for her service.
That's true, yes.
And what I was really impressed is how you have something for at every price point.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about that, because people think like, oh no, like time, but what you're really good at is saying, okay, what's your budget? And these are the things we can do. So, some virtual shopping here, but talk about that.
I think people would be really surprised to know that you could buy a piece of fine jewelry from Diamonds on the Key for $300. And $300 at a department store, you're talking about a piece of costume jewelry, not fine jewelry. And at Diamonds on the Key, because of my low manufacturing costs, you could have maybe a simple pair of earrings that's real gold, real gemstone, or maybe a gorgeous chain link bracelet of some sort, or maybe something in pearl, but it will be real. It will be genuine. It will be real gemstone, real diamond, real gold. And people are often surprised to find out that I have price points that start at that.
Now let's go the other end.
Yes.
That dream wish, I hit a golden age or whatever. We won't even talk about what age it is, but that dream gift, let's talk about some of those wish lists.
Well, I would say dream gifts can be just about anything. That last year I had a really special client of mine celebrating her 70th birthday. And we were trying to think what could represent the number 70. So we custom made diamond studded earrings that each one weighed 3.5 carats. So 3.5 times 2 totaled 7.0. And this was something really, exciting for this client. She wears these earrings every day now, and it was something to represent her. And so, that 7.0 carat earrings total weight, right? That cost a pretty penny, especially when you get GIA certified and really fine quality. But it was also about half the price of what she started looking in at other jewelers. And so even those big ticket things, perhaps the most important, those biggest ticket things are where we can control the price the most and really pass that savings on to the client.
And also, what about like yellow diamond? Let's talk diamonds.
Okay. So diamonds come in all different colors, which a lot of people don't realize. They're not only white. You have yellow, you have blue, you have pink, you have red, you have green. I think Jennifer Lopez has had maybe almost all of those colors by now.
I think so.
But diamonds come in all colors and all qualities. And people will ask me, well, what's more expensive, white or yellow? And it's not as simple as that, because in white, you have many different grades of the color white, and white is actually an absence of color. And then when you go down the opposite scale towards yellow and more body colors introduced into a white diamond, eventually it could become yellow. And then once you cross the threshold into yellow category, there's 5 different grades of yellow based on the intensity of the color. The same holds true pink, the same holds true for blue. And so diamonds come in all colors and all strengths of color. So a yellow diamond could be very, very light or could be fancy intense.
Wonderful, wonderful. If you're just joining us, we've had this amazing guest, Christina. I'm going to say your last name right this night.
Termine.
Yay! I did it right. And from Diamonds on the Key. And we've had a wonderful, wonderful lesson on all types of beautiful jewelry that are must-have statement pieces. And this is a point in the show where we like to give you the chance to do your, 1-minute commercial, how to reach you, and any of the information you want to share.
Well, I can be reached just about anytime, anywhere. I feel like I'm on 24/7. So I'm answering phone calls and text messages very late at night.
You get back to someone right away
when there's a jewelry emergency. But I have a website, which is diamondsonthekey.com. I can be reached by phone. The information is all on my website. You could follow me on Instagram, and that's the best place, on Christina Termine on Instagram. And we post all new pieces of jewelry almost every day, and we feature a lot of the makeovers on Makeover Monday on our Instagram account, so you can see what we've done for other people's jewelry. And sometimes that jogs someone's memory, like, oh, I have an old piece like that. Wow, that came out really good. So we're really happy when people do follow us and take a look at the website and look at what we've done for other clients, because it's a way to understand what we can do for you.
Yes, follow on social media.
Follow on social media, very, very, very important, and it gives you a lot of inspirations, a lot of ideas also.
I love it. And like I said, every single day is a gift-giving
Every
opportunity.
single day is a gift-giving day. And I would say to women, wear your jewelry. I have so many women that tell me, oh, I have that locked away in a safety deposit box. Oh, I haven't worn that. Oh, I feel funny wearing that. And I tell women, wear it. Take it out of the drawer. Wear it. Enjoy it. If it gets damaged, I'm here to fix it. But just wear your jewelry. Don't be afraid of wearing it.
I love it. I had a pair of diamond chandelier earrings, and I lived on Miami Beach, and I used to go grocery shopping with them on. I was like, why not?
Well, and I have a lot of women that tell me, in the past, they used to wear very heavy, large earrings, all of those 80s style earrings. And so their earlobes aren't quite what they used to be. And so we offer a lot of clip-on styles also, which many jewelers don't even stock. And we have clip-on earrings to suit a lot of women also who felt like they could no longer wear earrings.
I love that. Yeah. I absolutely love it. And all these must-have statement pieces that you've shared with us. I mean, I can't tell you enough. I walked into the studio this morning and saw this beautiful display and immediately started going through my checklist. Okay, I need. And
and I would say another statement piece is, and I'm seeing this a lot, maybe one of the most timeless and classic pieces is a diamond eternity ring. And some people think you have to wait to be given this. And I say, no, you can buy it for yourself. You don't have to wait for anybody to give you this. And it doesn't have to be a wedding ring. It can be something that you buy for yourself and wear on any finger that you want. And now these are statement pieces that you're stacking them with a gold band. You're wearing them on any other finger. You're wearing it for fun. It doesn't have to be a serious piece of jewelry. So I would say, an eternity band is something eternal for you. If you give it to yourself, somebody gifted to you, and it is something forever.
I love that whole way of thinking of that. That's so true. I have always loved the eternity band, and you're absolutely right. It's something that you can give yourself, and no longer are we constricted to those ideas of, it has to be an engagement, ring or anything like that, and to mix it up. That's.
I would say also, too, I have a lot of people who come to me that maybe, for whatever they've gone through, they no longer wear their wedding rings, and those have sat in the back of a drawer, for years, maybe bad memories, whatever. And I always encourage people. I said, forget those memories. Go get that piece out of your drawer. Bring it to me. Let's make it's still a beautiful diamond. Let's make something out of that. And I have transformed more rings into beautiful pendants that once they put that pendant on the neck, the memories are long gone. And now all they see is like a beautiful necklace. And
I love it.
Yeah. And it's just, again, diamonds are forever one way or another.
And gold, silver, white gold.
I would say the trends in the color of gold definitely go up and down. You know, for a couple years, white could be the trend. Now gold, yellow has come back really, really strong. As you can see, most of this jewelry is actually in yellow gold. But yellow gold has a warmth to it. It really, you know, you put it on, especially in the daytime, it makes you feel great. And I think, you know, substantial, chunky yellow gold doesn't go out of style. It definitely is always here.
Well, however you need to shine. With diamonds, with gold, you have your person right here, Diamonds on the Key.
Thank you.
And we will see you next week on Spotlight. Thank you very much to Community Newspapers. And we will see you on Spotlight TV next week. Have a great Thanksgiving.